Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Hey, Olaf. Grant. Grant, glad to see that your car did not catch on fire yesterday. That's good. Good morning, Judy, Robert, Richard, Donald, Michelle, Brian, Larry, Beth. I can't forget Beth. Duma, good morning. Morning, Karen. Lori is not in here yet. She will be shortly, I'm sure. Oh, looky who's here. Thor. Um, you're going to have to wait. Ben, I think she's waiting until you get completely trampled on, and then she'll come in here trying to save you. Good morning, John. Yeah, she's Olaf. She's usually done by this time. She gets all that stuff done pretty early. John, I do not. But you're in here. I'm usually live in here. Well, I'm always live in here. If I wasn't, that'd be a problem. But yeah, I'm always live in here. Yeah, David, I think it's zero point 0.5 or below you stay out of. I think that's what it is. It's been a while since I've seen that video, so I don't know. And Lori will be in here in just a few minutes. She's having some issues with Hotcom, so. And David, to be honest, I don't know. I haven't had a DR indicator on my chart in probably like 9 months, so I don't use it. And you know how it is when you don't use a certain tool for a while, you just kind of lose, what the effects of it are or what it's supposed to do and all that, because you focus on what your current, tool arsenal is. Sorry, Lori, I see that you just came in. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I had some issues with Hotcom. Got them fixed. Sorry, running a little late here. Hate when that happens, but oh well. Back up and running here. Happy later.
So we've got some news from the Power Hour crew, if you would. We took the world's longest IBS trade yesterday. It was 19 minutes and 43 seconds.
You're kidding me.
No.
For 10 flipping ticks?
Yeah, but it won.
No way could I ever sit through that. Wow. My hat's off to you for your patience and ability to do that.
Oh, it wasn't me. It was like, I think there was like a handful of people that we took it, and somebody had. I know who it was. It was. I hope he doesn't mind if I call him out. Well, I'll just mention there was a comment that was made because what happened is I actually got into the trade way before I verbally called it, and before there was a cluster showing, because the numbers were in your face before the cluster came in, and I had already placed my order, and NQ was doing what it was doing, and yada, yada, yada. So the question was asked, why would you get into the trade before you called it? And because you can see it on the video that, and you can hear the commentary. So the answer to that is, sometimes there's things that I see that I'm willing to take a risk, but I'm not willing to take the whole ship down with me if it goes south and it catches on fire.
I hear ya.
So, and Grant, no pun intended on the fire thing. And if you were in the Power Hour yesterday, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're kind of having some fun in the Power Hour, Lori. If you haven't kind of got the...
Oh, I have no doubt that it's fun.
It's like it's turning into like an afternoon drive thing, It's like...
Yeah. I can see that. That would be, it would be a blast. I have no doubt. No doubt at all.
So, anyway, if you're in here and you know who you are about the comment that was made, that's the answer. You can speak up if you want, otherwise you know who you are. So I didn't want to just call you out. So, but that's the reason why. It's something that ultimately, obviously, it's the cluster came in, and I had a very good feeling that the cluster was going to come in at the exact price level that it came in, because of the amount of order prints that was on that price level. So, and that's usually what happens. And if you watch the video, you'll see that the cell that the cluster came in on had 147 or somewhere around there sold contracts, which was way higher than everything else in a complete imbalance for that price range. And that's exactly where the cluster came in. So anyway, that's something that I learned about reading order prints, and something that I was comfortable taking, which obviously I was willing to stay in for the duration of the trade once I made the call on it. And
committed.
Yeah, and not only
Yeah,
that,
you'd have to have me committed to sit through that.
yeah, not only was I heavy committed, but I also doubled up on the contracts that I took for that trade. So I usually trade 2. I actually took 4. So,
Way. Oh my gosh.
so
I could never do it.
yeah, and we were talking about you, Lori, saying how you would literally like go into cardiac arrest if that was a trade
I
that you.
would. There's no way I could sit through that. That is my total weakness as a trader. I cannot sit through long trades. I can't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wish DC was in, because that's something that he likes to see those kind of things. Right, DC? Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Oh, I bet it was fun in the room, but yeah, no. I can't even put something like that on in Sim and sit through it. Isn't that insane? Yeah, I have to get out of, even if I'm in Sim, I can't sit through it. That's how much I treat my Sim like my live account. I mean, unless I'm really testing something new, which, yeah, okay, whatever. But when I'm actually trading and I just like, yeah, okay, I'll take this in Sim. Yeah, no, can't do it. We're hitting RTY is trying to set up something.
Oh, look at that. Cluster on a ZOI.
Cluster on a ZOI, and if it closes up and holds everything,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna, so it should go down then. Yeah, it didn't come back to retrace to get me, so yeah, okay. If it was that beautiful and it didn't close up, yeah, I kind of like it for a, but it didn't even give an elevator, so okay, whatever. See, that's what I'm with Denali on that. I wouldn't trade that time of day because the contracts do get skewed.
Yeah, they do. And Denali, that's a great question. That's one of the things that I found is that I don't trade right at the 350 hour, but anything between 350 and 355 and 4 to get in, it usually has a tendency to go in the direction that the intrabar scalp is pointing to. Now, that's not an always, and it's not an absolute, which is why I didn't call it until the cluster showed up. But yeah, it's again, it's a market read. It's watching what NQ was doing, and remember, Denali, when I'd made the comment that something happened with the Dow with YM, and you had mentioned that what was it that came in, and it was like a 20-point gain or something like that. So while we were in this trade, all of a sudden, Lori, YM just decided to just take off like a rocket, and the NQ and RTY were just kind of doing their thing, not really following, and I was just kind of like, what just happened to YM? So Denali, yeah, the earnings on Salesforce. So Denali was saying that Salesforce just reported their earnings and they were up like 20 points per share, or something like that. So that just like.
And I hope you check earnings and make sure you're not trading around. I mean, because that can just totally change things you don't expect. That's why I wouldn't be trading that time of day myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm too conservative for that. I just can't do it. But yeah, be careful of earnings when. I mean, I would check those every single day, no matter if it's season or not. Earnings season.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I did not do that. So.
Because that'll blow you out of the water, and then you think, oh, it doesn't work. But in reality, that doesn't have anything to do with how well it works. It's just a crazy man. So with no respect to anything. That's why when you're doing replay, I got to know what, around the news and that kind of stuff. RTY is trying to set up again.
Don't have a TX on the 30. Laureen, Simplicity was designed around NQ exclusively, and I don't know how and if it works on YM or RTY. Yeah, Lord, if I can just comment on that RTY, I wouldn't have taken it because even if it was valid, the target would have been too deep into the I zone that's on the bottom, and the two I zones were just too close to one another, so there was no room.
Yeah, Michelle, that's one reason I haven't taught it, because we don't know exactly rules for stops, but I hide behind order prints, and depending on the situation, it might be more than others.
Yeah, so that
really
was
hard to say.
So for that trade yesterday, I actually increased my stop by 2 ticks, so my stop was 23 ticks because I was hiding behind order prints on that. And you know what? Let me look at the chart real quick. So my stop was behind a paw that was at 1891.7. Is that right? Let me see. I think that's what it is. I believe that's what it was.
YM.
No, that wasn't it.
Hiding above the wall, so I didn't get kicked out.
You might want to put your stop above that ZOI maybe. Off the 30.
Now I can say boo on that.
Oh. Yuck.
Yeah, and it was big stop, so yeah, not good.
So, yeah, for yesterday, and I'm not trying to be crass about it, but that's one of the things, guys. It's like you take a trade and you take a loss. It's like you kind of like move on, right? That's why I was continuing my thought process. What was I going to say? Oh, so back to the trade yesterday. So the entry was at 1901. That's where the entry was. And my stop was at 97.9. So I was behind a mini magnet. So it's a pretty big stop. I think it was like 20. It was either 23 or 24 ticks, somewhere around there. But I increased it just to make sure. I mean, it never went that far, but it got pretty close because it went 17, which is where it dropped that paw at 98.4. And yeah, so anyway, that was the answer to the stop on the IBS. Yeah, Dash, you got the mini magnets, you've got settlement, you got, you know, um, clusters on that level. It's a pretty decent level. Yes, you can. You don't need rhythmic to be in the room. The hotcom needs to be open to be in the room. Hey, Laura, you still in here?
Yep, I am.
Had that eerie silence, and I was like, ooh, what happened?
Yeah. No, I just don't see anything.
Lorraine, it's a coin flip, basically. Me personally, I would pick RTY if it was me right now, as to what, with what I've been seeing for the last, I guess, couple months. Actually, since the beginning of the year. So that's just me. I'd pick RTY. Yeah, Jeff, it's the amount of setups is not the key. It's the probability, the percentage of probability of the trade is why I said that. Like you mentioned, I don't know about odds, but it's just it seems to run better. So if you pick the right trade, then yeah, for sure. Ooh, Dash. Angry question. Um, so Dash, here's the. I'm just trying to think of a way to word it, and Lori, please help me out here because I don't know how to put that into words that make sense. Let's say your setup that you're taking, and I can only use this from my own personal experience, gives you 3 trades a week. Okay, and you're trading at a 80% probability. So that means that you're more likely that 2 out of the 10 trades that you're going to be taking are going to be losers. So if you're getting 3 trades a week to get 10 trades, you have to be trading for 3.5 weeks. So if you got the mindset that you know that you're not going to worry about the every trade that you're taking kind of a thing, but look at it over the long term, psychologically, if you gave yourself a month of the probability working in your favor, and again, this is where the psychology part of it comes in, and that kind of like it's a segue for what I said yesterday in the power hour, is that we haven't talked much about the psychology much lately, and since there's a bunch of new people that have been coming in for the last 4 to 6 weeks, they may have not heard me talk much about it because I used to repeat it over and over and over again. But the psychological aspect of it is if you set your expectation to know that you're only taking the best setups that are out there, you've tested it and and it's got an 80% win probability rate. You have to give yourself those 3.5 weeks before you start analyzing or going, it's like, oh, I just took a loss and I'm done. Because if you're taking the right trade, it's almost impossible to get. I mean, it can happen, and it has happened where we've taken back-to-back losses, and then one of 2 things are in play. Either you read the market wrong and you made a mistake, or it just happened. It's the nature of the beast. The market's going to do whatever it's going to do. But if you analyze it and it was the absolute best possible setup, and you know that it was, and other people have seen it and confirmed it, then it just lost just because not every trade wins. But over the long haul, you just got to make sure that psychologically you're prepared for the long haul of it. So to say that there's not enough trades to recover from a loss, I think that is an absolute incorrect statement. Because there's hundreds of trading opportunities every single day. We just need to find the right one. Okay, so no comment from Lori, so I either completely put her to sleep.
No, I'm just listening and watching. I mean, you said it perfectly. Nothing to add. It's a little different when they're first learning because they taking every sniper trade and they don't read the market because they haven't learned that far. So that makes it a little tougher. But at that point, really, you should be in sim, so it's not a major deal.
Right. So
you got to give yourself time to learn this stuff. That's the thing that people come in and they just immediately go to live and they really don't know what they're doing. You need to sim a little bit until you've learned the system and how to read.
So I've said this 1,000 times. It's like when you come to Apex, you must forget everything that you've learned and be able to accept what this system is, and then learn it well, and then you have to earn the right to trade real money.
Always thought.
So what Lori said is absolutely true, is a lot of people get in, yours truly included. When I first joined Apex, I thought I got this thing in like, a couple of days. I'm like, oh man, I got this thing down. I'm a sniper wizard. Well, that didn't last long. Fortunately, I was able to recover.
Extending your target, I want to make a comment here. We're talking about extending targets. That's never
Intrabar scalp potential RTY.
Oh yeah, until you know.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. It's never a good idea to extend targets until you know how to read the market and when to truly expect it to go further.
And I missed my entry, darn it. It's 88.9 was... Wow, and it won. Well,
thank you. I needed that.
Sorry, Lori, I missed...
That break even after my loss this morning. I got into 2 losses, but the one I actually had my target a little bit early, so it hit it and got it, even though it didn't take full profit.
Okay, guys, that was in your face. That was in your face. Sorry, that was
in your face. And that's why I jumped right in.
And it was so in your face, I couldn't even, well, I missed it. Well, there'll be another one.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, Laura, you were talking. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, I was talking about extending your target. Don't extend your target until you really understand how to read and if your setup was, if you really should expect it to go further. Because not all of them will. Stick with the rules until you know how to read which ones should go further.
And if I can add something to extending your target, I wouldn't extend your target on your initial sniped take profit, which is the 10 ticks. I would only work on extending is when you're trading multiple contracts. If I can throw that in, that's just my
which you
Two
shouldn't do
cents.
in the beginning anyway.
Yeah,
So
which is my 2 cents.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I still have one target that I always take my scalp with, always, and a second one I let run. But I always still take one scalp to keep that in there. That's the rules, and that's you expect 10 ticks of profit out of these, or 9, whatever. It's technically 9. I always say 10. It's just easier to round it when I'm talking about it. But yeah, not a good idea.
No. Brian, no. Not Brian, sorry. Jeff, the answer is no.
Yeah, there was one all in. I forget. Yeah, I think that was the all in was the last one in actually Fort Worth. So the last one was in Dallas, and then the one before that was Fort Worth. I think that was all in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, sorry, Brian. I'll do that. It's just, again, you guys have to understand. There's so much going on. At least for me, anyway. That I was in the middle of talking and I was in the middle of listening to Lori talk about something and I didn't want to interrupt her and I saw something come up. I was like scrambling to try to grab my mouse. I just couldn't do it. So I'm lucky I even got the word IBS out and like the actual price, let alone and the market, let alone the direction. So
I know, right? It's really, really hard to be able to trade yourself and call leads. You have no idea how hard that really is. I mean, you think, yeah, you can just talk while you're seeing it and doing it. Yeah, it's very hard. Get a few more of those intrabar scalps. Oh, that would be so good.
Almond, I don't understand the question. Am I missing something? Can I get Lorex same day as payment? What does that mean?
Can you get it on his charts the same day he pays for it? I believe that. I believe you can. You have to close NT out. It might not. It might take a few hours. It just depends. It might be nearly instant, but you have to close NT and update your toolkit.
Right.
Or not update your toolkit, but close it all out, and then it does update with your new permission.
Yeah.
So
I think it's instant. It should be instant.
it usually is, I believe, but once in a while it's slower for some reason. But you have to close Ninja to be able to get your permissions updated. It's not that instant. Yeah, I was kind of thinking. I don't know. Seems like a lot of times it's not. You have to log out of. You have to close Ninja and and wait a minute, and then it'll. Oh, it runs. Okay, well that's good to know.
Well, it seems instant, Greg. If you basically go through the process, you pay and you shut everything down, and then you log back into the toolkit, into NT, and all that, and then it's there. Then it seems like it's instant, even though it took a couple minutes to go through that process. So. Laura, when you purchased the Wealth Summit, that gives you access to that, and then you have the Lorex indicator in your toolkit. And you just put that on your chart.
There is a video that tells how to load it and all the changes you need to make to get it to work properly for Lorex indicator. You gotta watch that video because it's not just as easy as putting it on your chart and going.
Mark, question, something that came up with that, with your question on the hotkeys. Do you have your chart trader open? The chart trader itself when you're using the order keys? Oh, okay, because I think there was some talk about that, it was happening when the chart trader was closed and you were using order keys, that it wasn't, that's just what I saw somewhere, but just curious.
You put your screenshot in there again and put a space in between the word. Just put it in there. You didn't leave a space between the trade and the HTTPS, then it's harder to copy that out, and it's really hard to copy that out. HD, that is not HD. That is not HD or ODD or anything. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It would have been valid to take that HD. The trade, no, the trade you took was not HD either, but the trade you're pointing at is not HD. For a going, yeah, no, it went, it's just not. Yeah, you definitely have HD confused. That's not even close. Ooh, RTY is trying to set up. It doesn't have a 30 tick yet. It doesn't have any, missing a lot of parts still, but RTY closes up and adds a few parts, which it did not do. Okay, never mind.
But nice, it got a crash on there too.
That's why I liked it, because the cluster was right there with the crash, and I was like, yeah, I like that. I just wish it would print something. So I tend to think it would go short if it didn't go long, but it could also chop, being that there's a crash, chop right above it instead. So hard to say. Let it tell you, let it set up or not, but let it, it didn't set up, so yuck. Yeah, keep on sending in those screenshots where you think it's a HD, and if it gets close, I can explain it better, but yours wasn't even close, so like, that'd take a while to explain. You're definitely not understanding it, so which market was that? One, that was a 10:06. It's hard to tell. I would have to say no, because it was against DR and it's not quite ranging. It's not a valid. Is that right? Is that why I wasn't paying attention? Is that where we took the interbar scope? I don't care for this YM myself. Valid. Lorex. There you go. It won. Have any confirms? I didn't didn't care for it, but it did great. Yeah, I didn't like because it had so much stuff right there, but it was a full Lorex, so fair game. But I want some confirmation. If it's got to get through all that stuff, I want some confirmation myself. Okay, it's not HD. First of all, you have to post more of the chart. You got to squish it together because you can't see what's happening beyond it. It has to be in a trend and pull back, but it can't pull back farther than the time before. If it makes you feel any better, HD was the hardest thing for me to get. I bet I posted 20 charts to John trying to learn it, and I didn't get it right till like the 15th one, and then I sent a bunch to verify I had it. But yeah, it's not easy to figure out. That was not HD. To have a trend, it has to pull back twice, at least twice in that trend. The first one is your measuring stick. The second one is your possible HD. Well, minute. Let me look. Oh, you're looking. Okay. I'm gonna say, if you can see RTY, if nothing else, look at the room charts. RTY had at 10:06:26, it kind of changed directions, although you don't know it's changed directions yet, but it chopped around. Then it laid the 1961 and it went down. It retraced back up to 1298. That could be considered HD because it didn't retrace up as far as the 1961, but the 1961 is lower than the 3553. So we are, for that scenario, it is 1298 is less than 1961. It has to be, no, wait a minute, it has to be more. So forget that. Never mind. I'm wrong. It has to be more volume. I'm wrong. I'm just confusing you. I'm so sorry. It has to go, it has to pull back less, but with more volume. That does not have more volume. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm explaining that wrong. That have to have more volume than the 1961, but not retrace as high, which it's doing now in RTY. So now it's beginning to have HD, but it's getting so tall that it's, yeah, no. Difference between the green and the red momentum star is which direction the bar closes. Looks like we could maybe be setting something up on RTY. got a crash though. If you look at RTY, if it does set up, I'm not saying it's set up yet, but if it does, your entry is right at a crash. I am not a fan of that. ES, my ES chart, because you just don't have enough on your chart that I can see if there's any kind of trend. But let me look. Okay, so you're looking. That is HD. No, it's not HD, because if you look back on your chart, you'll see at 10:09:06 it retraced with 13K. Okay, then it chopped and it went down more, and you're in an uptrend. If you look at the bigger picture, you're in an uptrend. So coming down, you'd be looking for HD on the downside, but you went further at the 10:22:57. You went further than you did at the 10:09:06 pullback. So on HD, you cannot go as far as the pullback before the current one. And this one went further, so that takes HD out of the picture. So that is not HD. Look at my chart to see, because you don't have enough information on your chart. YM has HD right now. Very true. If it would close up, it's HD. Not saying it's an entry, because it doesn't have any PX or any entry, but at this moment, you can look at the room charts if you don't have YM up. If you're wanting to understand HD, the last pullback, it hit, okay, at 10:22:50, it hit a low. Then it was going up, and it came back and retraced a little bit at 10:27:04. It had 652 for your oscillation detector, your OD indicator. Then it went up and it retraced. It's retracing now, and your OD number is 1314, which is bigger than 652, but it didn't go as low as the 652 price. And until it reaches that price, you have hidden divergence, HD. Was that totally confusing, or did that help anybody clear up on HD?
Yeah, I thought I had it until you explained it. Now I'm completely lost.
Great. It is the one thing that it took me the longest of anything Apex to understand that. I may be explaining it very poorly. If you want to risk missing a trade, I can go into the YM chart and show you, since we've got it right now. If that will help you, I can move the cursor around on YM on the room charts if you'd like. Okay, I'll do that. I'll risk losing a setup here.
If something shows up that's worthy, I'll let you know.
So if you look at the YM room chart, wait a minute, got it. Oh, okay. So we're looking at this. You see where my mouse is? Can you see my mouse? If you roll over the hotcom symbol in your system tray, and if you don't see any charts, if you've closed them out, you won't see this. You'll have to exit the room and come back in to get the, yes, it's the YM charts on hotcom. I'm moving, there's an arrow I'm moving around. I'll wait for a minute. Make sure you got it. Yeah, RTY is trying to set up.
Yeah, it's trying to set up short RTY. Oh man, if this stays, it'll be interesting. That's a really big Xbox. And the cluster is in it.
Nice little mini magnet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lorex. Not loving the way the trend is so strong going up. While you guys are looking at your craft on the 30, I lost it. Okay, thank you for that. And it has the green star, but that will change if the bar goes down past the midpoint. That'll change to absorption X. It lose the trapped on both 10 and 30 ticks. So if you guys are trying to get that YM chart up and you can't see it, go ahead and exit the room and come back in. I'll wait for you. Let me know when you got it. You're looking at the hotcom charts now. Did you get it, Judy? Okay, everything went away, so forget that.
It's coming back, Lori.
Nope, it's coming back.
And YM could potentially set as well.
Okay, so are you ready, Judy? Okay. So everybody else that wants to get the little quick HD lesson ready? Okay, can you see my arrow moving on the YM chart?
Actually, hold on a second, Lori. Before you do this, give me 1 second. I'm going to do something here.
Record it.
I'm doing better than that. Yeah, it's being recorded, but I actually put the room chart on the main screen, so you can see the room chart now on the video. Okay, it's ready to go, and just so people can know, The timestamp is an hour, and we'll call it an hour and 10 minutes into the video.
Okay, so first of all, can I make a bit? I can't. You can make your charts bigger. You can tell it like 2 times, a 2x, and then scroll over to the chart. I can't make my arrow bigger. You don't see my cursor. Do you see it? Do a 2x on your chart where you have a chance to, in the upper left-hand corner. And it did end up setting up. Doggone it, missed it. That RTY.
I don't have a cluster on it, Lori.
Oh, I don't either. Okay, good.
I was like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait, it's missing something.
Yeah, no, it is. You're right. You're right. Okay, so right now my cursor, my arrow, it's an arrow cursor, is in the middle of the YM screen. Can you see it? If you can go to your upper left-hand corner and hit the 2x. It's a scroll down, and it'll make your whole chart bigger. Everybody got that yet? I'm on the YM10, not the 30. We want to look at the 10 here. Well, I can maybe...
Is your cursor on the YM chart right now, Lori?
Oh,
there you go.
Let's
Okay.
try this.
There you go. Now I can see you
Try
making.
this.
There we go. Now I can see the circle.
See this?
Yep. Now you can see it.
Help! I got it. Crosshairs. Does that help? Can you see the crosshairs? You see the crosshairs? Okay, you got them. Okay, so let's look at this.
Okay, now Lori, before you
Right here.
continue, you're going to stay on the 10 only because that's I've got it like totally zoomed in on the room chart, and it's just.
I'm only staying on the 10.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Okay, so at this point, 10:22:50, it hit a low point. Okay, then it came up, stopped and retraced here. This is retrace 1, and it's 6:52. Does everybody see this? The OD is 6:52 on the first retrace up. Okay, got that. Okay, then it goes up again. It stops and retraces to here, and it's kind of hard to read that, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so now the OD number is 1819, which is bigger than 652, but it stayed up here higher. The price is higher than this price. The price stayed above this first pullback, but it had more volume coming in. Okay, so this right here, if it had set up with a TX or something, it didn't give us any setups, but it is an example of HD. If it gave us trapped orders, if it would have had an X box here, it actually would have been an HD, a basic HD sniper trade, because you have your base, your first starting point, for lack of a better term, right here, and you came up and you retraced to here, and you had 652. Then it went back up, it wiggled and wobbled a little bit, but it ended up retracing to here, which is it's a a higher low. It retraced coming down, creating a low, but it's a higher low than this one here.
Hey, Lori, can I make a
It
suggestion?
stayed above our first, yeah, just a second. It stayed above our first pullback, but the OD number was higher. That's HD. Okay, what were you going to say?
If you take the chart, scroll left so that the first pullback, 62, is to the right of the chart, so you can't see anything else right anymore. And then bar by bar it till you get to that point, so that all the noise on the right side of it won't be confusing to people. So if you take the no, not like that. No. Go back to the way. Okay, now take the bottom screw. The bottom.
I see what you're saying.
So you're doing like a bar, and then just left and right arrow it bar by bar as the bars are closing. So you'll get to be able to see the HD as it's forming. So you go back to the first pullback.
Okay.
Go back to the first pullback. Okay, so now pretend we're live, guys. Okay, Lori, now go ahead and say what you're saying.
Okay, so now we've hit our starting point, and you go up here, you have a pullback. So this is our first pullback. It's not, let me just see if I can push, no, not that. Pull this up, okay. So we don't care what this number is. It's our starting point. You have to have a first pullback, okay, and that's the number on it. Then we go up, continues its trend. Now I gotta pull it back. Trend till it pulls back. Now we're going to wait and see where this pullback ends up. Whoa. I hate when that happens. Sorry. But, okay, so we started here. We had a first pullback. Now we're on the second. We're waiting to see where that ends up. There would be HD on each of these bars in live. Okay, so we stopped here. Our OD number is 1819, which is twice, almost, well, 279%. So it's like over 2.5 times what this is, almost 3 times. You have a huge HD that's in your face bigger.
It's four times, just for the record.
Yeah, pretty close to 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And in the price, it did not pull back lower than the first one. It cannot go down below that first pullback. It has to stay above it when we're going long. Just the opposite for going short. But it has to stay above this first pullback. But this number has to be huge in comparison to this first pullback number. So does that help? Am I making any sense, or am I confusing more?
Yeah, that illustration was perfect.
So now I'm going to pull that back. I'm going to F that little. Okay, so we're back to kind of normal charts here. Okay. Of my, no, weird, because when I'm in these charts, I can't see what you're seeing. Close it. Okay, if you learn that, then you're good. I mean, that was well worth it if that helped you. For HD, no, you don't look at the 30 tick. You can see if there's a HD on the 30 tick. That might give you, it won't confirm your HD on the probably, but if you have HD on the 30, have a different setup on the 10, that'd be cool. That's a definite confirmation. Generally speaking, your 30 probably won't have HD when your 10 does because it's just a different picture.
So I just got a suggestion from a trader who actually offered to help, and I appreciate that very much. What I'll do is I'll snippet out this little training thing. I'll create its own video out of it, and then I'll post that as well.
Why wasn't it giving a TX? I have no idea. It just didn't, the bars, it wasn't setting up correctly. A TX has to do with how the orders come in with order prints. It must be a reversal bar to get a TX.
What was the timestamp that I called for that training little thing when it started?
Sonos has a better hour and a half, maybe?
No, it can't be an hour and a half because we're an hour and 20 minutes into the video. 1:10, I think it was. Yeah, thanks, Grant. 1:10, that's right.
That was a good memory. Yeah, tell me something like that, I sure won't remember it.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Grant. Appreciate it. See, what will we do without these guys?
I know, right?
On the one hand, it's great. On the other hand, it's scary because that means that they're listening to everything that I'm saying. I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, that's what I call true accountability. Those are my accountability partners.
Yeah, we have 261 accountability partners.
Yeah. No pressure.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Power? Oh, I've got 0 power. I'm just a little guy that's got 2 brain cells who are constantly fighting with one another, and I'm trying to put 2 sentences together to form a paragraph. Ben, knock it off. God.
I gotta walk away.
For a second, I thought he said, keep the complaints coming to Ron.
I think you take them better. Oh, Judy, that depends on your screen size, how much real estate you can afford that chart. It's just a totally personal thing based on your setup. I mean, I have different things on different markets. It just
Yeah, same here.
and my RTY, for example, starts at 10:16:04. No, well, not anymore. Just moved.
Yeah, my simplicity chart shows an hour. as an example.
Mine doesn't. I don't even. I had more showing before, but I prefer to look back if I have to on that one. Exactly. Sometimes you have change depending on what the market is doing, and if you want to see something clear, or if you want to see what happened before. I've got nearly half a 38-inch monitor for RTY alone, my 10 tick. So, yeah. Oh, okay, speaking of RTY.
I don't think you need a bigger monitor, Lori. I think you need glasses.
Well,
That's for me. That's how it is for me. I've got a 62-inch monitor, and it's zoomed into YM.
Yeah. I actually have everything on that particular monitor at twice the size because it's such a small resolution. So I have everything twice the size. So it's really in my face. And I still miss stuff. Totally up to you and your budget and real estate for your desk and what you can get.
I think Judy was probably asking like a resolution setting for what to set the resolution for. I think it's a matter of personal preference.
You want to use whatever is.
It's personal preference, right? I mean, you can have it set to the highest resolution, but then your text will be really, really tiny. And if you've got bad eyes like me, then that wouldn't work. So you want to make, but at the same time, you can adjust your window settings, your Windows setting. You can set the highest resolution and then change the text size that it displays to be larger. So yeah, it's all a matter of preference.
1520 is sweet. I don't even know how I got my charts and everything twice the size on this particular monitor. I don't know how I did it. Yeah, 2560 is a pretty good.
Yeah, so again, a lot of times you need to make sure you have the right hardware to be able to get that kind of resolution too. It's not just your monitor, it's your network. I mean, your video card has to be able to produce those resolutions as well. Although most new stuff today can do it, so. Nice, Greg. That's awesome. My 11-inch CRT is at 480 pixels. Monochrome.
I had to get what Greg has. That's a good setup. The fuzzier image, and I still don't like that. That drove me crazy.
It got stuck in shipping. It's going through China.
Paul, the cluster has nothing to do with anything on your entry, your exit, or anything. We just want to see one. We don't care where it is. It has nothing to do with where you get in or out. You get out at the mini magnet. Tick before magnet is where your take price is set on an interscope.
Dash, it's working great. It runs a bunch of stuff that I test, and it's very, very cool. It's fast. It's actually faster than one of my desktops, which is pretty good. Um, it probably takes me about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes to get my whole setup up and running if I start from scratch now. So like when I come in on Monday, like 10 to 15 minutes to get everything going. Um, you would change it in Windows under the monitor preferences, Judy.
Why maybe? Trying to set up. Just a note on monitors and stuff, have them as far away from your eye, literally, as you can.
You're chopping really bad, Lori.
I am. Okay, I'll exit Okay, is this any better?
Much. Thank you.
I had to come in fresh this morning. You wouldn't think that would be needed, but oh well. Yeah, the sitting in front of a computer definitely does a number on your eyes. Oh man, first-hand knowledge there. I've worked on a computer basically all my life since college, and took off a couple years when I had my kids, and my eyes improved, but whoa, now they're horrible. Just saying, keep that screen as far from your eyes as you can. Means 417 RTY. I don't know what you mean by that.
I think he's trying to talk about an interbar scalp. No, that's an absolute, not even close.
Oh, I see that now. Yeah, no. That is not in your face. Yeah, I have to use those during allergy season, but my eyes water all the time, so I don't need air dry, but the vision just yikes. I think if you were to make that subgraph big enough, you'd see them. If you just pull the first one up and then the first subgraph up, and then pull that one that separates the first and the second up really far just to see, I think you'll see that they're there.
Yeah, you'll see it. You actually, that solid line that's right above your, that's separating the DR and the indicator, drag that up a little bit and then drag the DR up as well. And then it'll show below that, above that 0 line on the lower graph.
Yes, on YM. It's looking good. I mean, it's forming. It's not there yet. There's right above the Xbox and right on the ZOI. Yeah, a Lorax doesn't matter with crocodile eyes. The crocodile eyes are for basic setups, sniper setups. Up and it went away. Notice that YM was trying to, or RTY trying to set up against it, and YM didn't set up, so oh well. Crocodile eyes are, if you look at YM, 110742 and 111018. Those two clusters, side by side, that looks like little crocodile eyes to me. Those are crocodile eyes. Two clusters close together, separated by maybe one bar or no bars, side by side. I mean, they don't have to be exactly side by side. They're just close together. Yeah, it's probably from the Thrive. I'm not sure where I taught that. RTY does not look good to me. Is it a valid setup? No, because it's against DR. It would just be a FTX. It's against DR. And it's just plain old ugly. No, I'm not saying it was a Lorex. I'm saying just if it was a valid basic trade.
Could it have been a DTX? Or is it too far away?
Yeah, I think it might have been a DTX.
Needs to be 2 points. Needs to be 2 points, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's
so.
there. It's
oh,
there.
Yeah, it even shows up on my subgraph as the DTX. Yeah, so it was valid. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to. If someone asks a question, I'm trying to confirm or not of the basic setups because the newbies are wanting to have more information on those, whether it was a good setup, whether it was valid. But you have to ask the questions. I myself never ever looked for the basic setups.
I need to polish up on all the sniper stuff because I haven't traded sniper in like over a year.
I just
Not over a year, just about a year actually, almost a year. Can't believe we're already in March.
traded the basics, and I've always looked for a lot of confirms. It just didn't have an official setup. Started calling them in the room and then figured out, oh, this is what I'm looking for. Hence the Lorex. It's looking good. I haven't heard of any issues on the testing yet as far as it not working, so yay. Seems to be rolling along pretty good.
Sorry, Paul, I just saw your question. Why did I stop trading regular sniper? Because, well, technically I still trade sniper. I mean, everybody's trading sniper, technically. It's just that with all the confirmations and all the things that I'm looking for, it's now the Lorex, and then even a highly confirmed Lorex at that. So, but just the regular basics, the actual sniper individual setups, I don't trade them individually. Basically, trade a combination of a lot of them together and bundled up into one trade.
Judy, that is what it is. It's a TX with all kinds of other stuff loaded in. It's kind of like a pizza with the works, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, it's just individual sniper trades require you to grind the market. There's going to be more losers. You're going to have to keep going until you get your daily goal met. Yeah, I'm hungry myself. If you're not a grinder, then you want to find the best of the best of the best, which that's what I do. Lee, have you posted any charts asking questions? Were they valid, or, you know, what could you learn from them? ODD is when you're in a trend, it goes higher. If you're going if you're long and you're going up, and you have a retrace, and then it goes back up with the trend higher, but less volume. Yeah, you have to learn. I mean, you just have to learn those basics. You got to know what everything is. It basically is the foundation to do, the Lorex and like be able to read the market. Like for example, if you learn what an SLZ is, okay, then you know once you're working on more confirmations, you know when an SLZ shows, and you have a strong level there and maybe a TX. You know, if that falls with another setup, you know that's going to be stronger. You're learning the parts and pieces that are going to make you see the biggest, best trades. No, RTY was not, because at ODD, RTY at 10:56.12. It hit at 29.53. It retraced and went up to 42.28. That 42.28 is bigger. It has to go higher on less volume. It is kind of the opposite of HD. HD, but it's kind of crazy. There's a difference. YM is kind of OD. You're in at the moment you're in kind of a shorter trend, and you went further short on less volume, 1160 compared to 2093. I just don't think it's going to set up. Okay, ODD goes with the trend. HDD is measuring the pullback. First pullback or more, yeah. Judy, the best thing you can do for yourself is to mark up the charts with every basic setup you see, and you find an example of it and mark it up, take a screenshot, mark it up, and send it to either put it in this room or send it to your mentor group, or even in my Skype, whatever works. And then someone can check it and explain what you've got right and what you've got wrong. You marking it up is so much more beneficial than you just seeing a picture of it. That is why we require, you have to mark up charts, you have to ask the questions, it's so much more meaningful than just having somebody tell you something. You've gone through the training videos. That's somebody telling you something and showing you pictures. You mark it up, you're going to be so much further ahead. So I would suggest doing that. I mean, there are people that have made workbooks. Our YM is starting to set up. Nope, never finished. There are people that have made workbooks, and they've gotten so much further ahead, or study sheets or tests or whatever. I mean, lots of little things that they've done, and it has really helped them go further. It helps them much more than anybody that takes those quizzes, looks at the workbooks, any of that stuff. I mean, it's so incredible how much that helps you.
And also, Judy, the bar by bar thing is something that Ben and I were talking about doing in the roundtables to kind of get back into it, because I know that a lot of people enjoyed when Daryl was doing that, so I just kind of figured I would pick up that ball and try to run with it, not to do it in the same way that he did it, or even say that I could even come close to that, but at least it would have our version to just a little bit, yeah, whatever. I think you get what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I have to say, before we started Sniper, I had made posts for the website on every single system we had. I mean, as the system was developed, I would make I'd make posts, and I would show individual trades and what to look for, what not to look for. I mean, what to look for to trade, what to look for to stay out, blah blah blah. Daryl did videos, and then I'd go behind and I would do screenshots of everything. And I didn't even trade all of those systems way back when I started. There have been a few systems that we've gone through. I didn't trade. I mean, I've traded basically the way we're trading now, Sniper, and it's evolved. But anyway, but I learned every system inside out because I did that. And Daryl would look at all the screenshots, making sure I understood what I was posting. And it really, really made a difference in my understanding of it. And I haven't done that for Sniper, but I did it for every other system. And I would highly recommend doing that for yourself. It helps you more than anybody else. Just do a screenshot of every single trade, every setup, point out everything on that chart that you see, good, bad, and otherwise. Do you see crocodile eyes? Do you see, this obstruction? Name your obstructions. Go through that exercise, and you will get Sniper down so fast. That will be the fast track to getting further ahead.
I'm just going to throw this out there, and I'm probably going to get shot for doing this, but what we can do is, just like Lori said, if people take screenshots, as you're trading throughout the day, and maybe we'll do this once or twice a week or whatever, save the screenshots and then send them to me or Ben, and then we'll try to do a power hour for whatever day we get the most, and it'll be like literally like on the fly. So let's say today we had like 5 or 6 screenshots that came in, then time allowing, Ben and I would jump and do a podcast real quick and just kind of 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever, after session, jump in and just kind of do a like a recap and a bar by bar over the trades that were done. Ben, if you heard what I just said, you can either shoot me a Scud missile in Skype if you hated what I just said, or agree. I don't know.
Oh, that is great, because what I see is people want to be told, they want to be showed, but if they actually mark it up themselves, they don't understand the power of how incredibly much more understanding they get if they mark it up themselves. That's what I'm trying to get at, is they have to send in the charts. You have to invest a little bit in your own, put a little effort into your own learning. So, I mean, anybody that asks about these setups, and thank you for those of you that are doing this. Some of you guys are asking about, what about this one on, RTY at this time? It's a basic sniper setup, but yeah, I'm happy to go over it. I don't even see those as I'm looking at the chart, because I've never traded them. So it's really difficult for me to call something I don't see.
But yeah, we could do this, and we'll do this live so that we can have a lot of back and forth and discussions. And again, we'll try to keep it pretty basic, not to get too involved and go down a bunch of rabbit holes. But yeah, just to cover some basics.
Well, I'm happy you have questions, and if the market's really, especially when it's really slow like right now, I am more than happy to take a chart and put it on camera and explain something or whatever, but it takes you putting in some effort. We're not just going to sit here and, oh, well, there's this and there's this. You have to mark up some charts, and it helps you so much more. You don't realize it until you do it. I had no idea that when I was doing those chart markups for all the other systems, I had no idea when I first started that how much that was helping me. I did it because I just didn't understand. I go through the video, I'm like, yeah, this isn't doing it for me. A video doesn't do it. I'm a better learner. Like, if I read something, it's much better for me than a video. That's just how I learn. So I thought, okay, I want to know this, so I went through the videos, I took notes, and I did everything that I could think of in order for me to understand it, and then I marked up all the charts, and I gave them to Daryl or John, depending on the system I was doing it, and they corrected me when I was wrong, and I changed the screenshots, and so yeah, and then even after I got them up, some people found some mistakes, and oh yeah, I didn't even notice that, kind of thing. But it was a learning experience. It was huge. Just like I learned how to trade. Literally, I learned how to push the buttons for buy, sell, and how to use Chart Trader on camera. My chart was on camera, and you talk about feeling stupid and not having a clue. But I had lots and lots of people guiding me, and if I did something wrong, boy, everybody caught it right away, and I learned fast. I had accountability. Wow. But, I didn't care. I worked from home. I knew my job was going to be ending soon, just because of the attrition of the way it worked. And so I knew I needed to learn fast, because I knew this was my next phase in life. So I had to make it fast. I couldn't just assume I knew everything. I had to learn it and get it down, and I spent the time and marked up charts and basically learned it on camera, and that was like the best way. I looked like a complete idiot, but I did not care. I knew I had to learn it fast, and that was my goal, and it worked. Nico, yes, I called two Lorex this morning that both ended up losing. One was like, what, one tick away from profit, and I got a little out of that one. And the other one lost, and then the IBS made some of that back.
Okay,
there were other trades.
I got a quick question. How many in here have been with Apex for less than a month? How many are like brand new?
Shy.
I mean, I need like this is important. Okay, I mean, I'm talking about like brand new. Okay, like less than 3 weeks.
Well, even before that, even 5 weeks, 2 months is still early.
No, I'm going somewhere with this. No, I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, so I just got confirmation on this, so I got permission. If you guys, all the new people, that and again, you have to be like literally almost brand new. Send Ben or myself a Skype, and we'll do a trader, like a transformation with you live, where we'll kind of walk you through whatever questions that you have, whatever it is, to try to get you as much up to speed as we can. We won't spend too much time, but you're basically getting like one-on-one attention as a new person with two relatively experienced people kind of holding your hand. So if you're interested in that, if you think that would be something that's beneficial, let me know. So
yeah, you need to take them even if it's 2 months.
You think 2 months? I think it's okay, because
I don't think there should be a cutoff, actually.
Well, it's just that there's so many of them, and we can only pick one. So I don't know how we're gonna.
Oh, to do the live to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
My Skype ID is just like my name is in here, in the room, and you can find Ben if you search for, like he just said. There you go. Look at Ben's post. So hopefully you guys are all in the mentor group.
I thought this was going to be going to. I thought you were taking this to a point where you go through. Okay, you have your list of what to do when you're, if you were starting over, how you would do it.
Right. That's the Ben. That's the roadmap. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So what I thought where you were taking this was doing an afternoon round table with whoever was new and like literally going step by step over some of this stuff and laying a roadmap of how to succeed.
Well, that would kind of lead into that. That's a great point. And actually, now that you're thinking about it, it's kind of like, again, this was just a thought literally when I brought it out there. So now we're building on it. So if we have the one trader that's willing to go through this, we'll basically do it live. So everybody else will be joining as well. So there'll be the one person that we're dealing with them specifically, and then there'll be some other questions that are being thrown through the participants in the round table. So
if you're a paid member, you are eligible to be in a mentor group. If you've never heard of a mentor group, that means you haven't gone through boot camp very far. Because, it's mentioned in boot camp. It's imperative you go through the boot camp videos. You're not going to be able to slide through this. And I don't care how experienced of a trader you are, this is a unique way we do things. And,
Yeah, and also, by the way, this is not going to be like a shortcut to get away from watching, going through boot camp at least once. I mean, you have to do that. With what it is that I'm proposing to do. Because at some point, I mean, let's just be honest, you have to put in the work.
Yeah, if you're not willing to, then...
I mean, I'm willing to invest time in helping people succeed, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm investing my time in somebody that has invested time as well. Because I'm doing this at my own accord. I don't get paid for this. I mean, for those of you who are new and maybe were assuming or whatever, I don't work for Apex. I'm doing this, all within just my own. Can I say that, Lori? my own. My own free will, and everything that I do, it's because I want to do this and I enjoy doing this. And when I have the comments that I get from people all the time, people Skyping me and messaging me on how they've had revelations and transformations and this has helped them, and it's like wow and whatever. I mean, it's as hard as it is and Ben, I know you're listening, so I'm sure you're going to pop with some smart remarks at all the compliments that are being thrown at me, because everybody knows how much I hate doing that just because I don't accept them very well. But at the end of the day, it really does make me feel good knowing that I can have some kind of a positive impact.
It's just the best feeling to know that you have been a little bit of a help to help someone transform their life, and that's Apex gives you the tools to do it. If you learn how to use those tools, you can it's limitless. And I mean, it's yeah, I can't even say that enough. I think Jeff would be a really good transformation position. Always going to be. I mean, it's a daily struggle against the emotions, and you'll be successful when you figure out how to deal with them, how to ignore them, trade through them without letting them affect your decisions. That's what you got to learn to do. How many people do I know that, oh gosh, lots. Never kept track. I will tell you, here's a little thing. Oh gosh, and you're recording this. This is scary, but
You want to stop it?
when I first started.
You want to stop it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on.
Sure. I don't know if I want this on the recording.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. Oh, so quiet now.
Here, let me help you. Is that coming through? I can't tell. I can't hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it. But it just goes to show you that if you decide you're going to, and the sniper system is nothing in it is arbitrary. Every single thing is there for a reason. Some of it is there, you don't even realize it, but it's there to help you mentally. And it's just everything in it, from the chart setups to the ATMs to the stop after 3. Everything is there for a reason to help you get consistent. And somebody up there asked how I found Apex. A friend of mine sent me a link to a video of Daryl on YouTube doing a training. And I listened to that, and I said, I'm going to be trading with that guy one day. That's my home. That's where I'm going. And I never looked back. It is. And yeah, I before we got on mic, Daryl and I would trade on the phone literally every morning. We were trading together. So yeah, how cool is that? Yeah, you just turn off all the other alerts. Nico.
So, Alan, just to what your comment that you just made. So, I'm a firm believer that nothing happens by chance, and that everything happens for a reason, and usually for a good reason. Um, and if you're the kind of person that's always looking for positive and good things, then that's what's going to end up happening. So, you're saying that, Alan, what you're saying is that you're glad that you made it to this particular session. Yeah, there was a reason why you made it to this session, is that you can pick up whatever little tidbit. You never know what you're going to get into when when you're going into a situation. And I always say to everybody when we do the round tables, or when I do power hour, or whatever, or when you guys are in the elite room, your goal every single day should be to walk away. When we're in here for the 2.5 hours in the morning, it's set yourself a goal that I'm looking for just one aha moment. I'm looking for one golden nugget. I'm looking for just one thing that's going to change my trading in a positive way. And that's how you start. Now, you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know what it is. You don't know. Just be willing to receive it when it does happen, and pay attention for it. So basically, Alan, what I'm saying is that, yeah, you something brought you into, saying, I have to be into, the ER this morning. I don't really know what it is, and you probably subconsciously it happened. You didn't even think about it. But when you go back and you go, man, it's like, I'm so glad I was here. Well, if you constantly, every single day, put that in there, it's like, okay, today, my main goal is to get something. I don't know when it is, but I'm willing to accept it. It sounds kind of crazy, but I'm telling you guys, it works, and it changes your whole psyche. And that's one of the things that I talked about in the power hour yesterday, that I'm going to start focusing more on, especially for the new people, on the psychology, because it's really, really important. Um, Psychology is 90% of this game, literally. So, anyway, I'm off my soapbox now.
It's all good. There was a question up there I wanted to, or a comment or something. Forget what it was. If one question up there, if you had to start learning over again, would you start with sniper? Absolutely, because that is the beginning of everything. When Daryl started developing sniper, we had literally, he called John and me, and he said, "What are your favorite setups? Let's start a new system using our favorite setups." And so we each talked about what we liked, and that's literally what we traded to I've been trading for 8 years, and it's my living. I mean, I don't just I want to make some extra money, or no, it's my living. So he's like, what's your favorite setup? If you could only do one or two setups, what would it be? That is what sniper is. And I didn't realize at the time, really, but I looked for more confirmations than the like the TX with the SLZ. That was one of my favorites. And the HD, well, that was one of John's favorites. He loved to do HD, and so that's how sniper became sniper. And it was taking, like, I've been trading a form of it the whole time. I developed the C system, which was, we didn't have order prints for that. That was before order prints, and it was basically the same thing. We had third bar slings. We had a form of HD. I didn't know that's what it was at the time, because I didn't know I didn't know anything that wasn't taught by Daryl, literally. But come to find out, this ODD thing and this, that was basically a power play 1 or a power play 2 was HD, kind of stuff like that. Anyway, it was a little different form. It all morphed into what we're doing now, but it was never something that we were going looking for something that would work. It's just something that it works because we saw it time after time, day after day. And so it's, would I start with Sniper? Absolutely, because that's your basis for everything. And the more you put into it by marking up charts, it really helps you understand it. There's something about literally going from your eyes to coming out your hands in the marking of it up. I don't know why, but it does. Yeah, you can turn the alerts all on or off, or certain ones off. I always use the no alert template and turn on a few that I want to hear. Now I turn the Lorex on because I want to hear it, because I get so distracted helping people. And if I hear the Lorex, well, okay, that works for me. I mean, it's amazing how this can transform your life if you use the tools, learn to use them. There's no limit.
And not only that, but if you have the mindset that this is going to happen overnight, then you're already setting yourself up for failure. There's so much information here. It's just not possible to do that. And especially if you're trying to unwind old habits, it makes it even more difficult. So you really have to set yourself some very, very, very realistic expectations and tell yourself, okay, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and it doesn't matter how many times. It's just like a baby, okay? When a baby's first starting to learn how to walk, it stumbles and falls and does all these things. It doesn't just sit there and cry and go, you know what, this walking business, it's just not for me. I'm just going to sit here and, crawl for the rest of my life or do whatever it is and pout. No, you get up and you do it. So as kids or as babies, we have this unlimited, we don't know what failure is. We don't know what not being able to achieve something is. You constantly keep doing it. The problem is, as adults, and through life experience, we put these roadblocks and all these barriers in front of us that later on in life makes it very difficult to go through. So, there was a point I was trying to make, and I completely lost my train of thought. But
hate when that happens.
God,
it happens to me all the time.
And I thought I was on a roll somewhere. Now, whatever. Anyway, so the bottom line is that you have to be willing to put the work in. You have to set yourself some realistic expectations, and if you think this is you're going to be a 6-7 figure trader overnight, it's just not going to happen. And if it does, then as quickly as you got there, it's going to be as quickly as you're going to fall, because you don't have the foundation based on what it took to get you there. So, anyway.
Markup charts. Yeah, if you're not willing to mark up charts and post them, you can post them in this room. You can post them in your mentor groups. You can post them to Ron or I directly. I mean, we're willing to help and do everything we can to help, but you got to put in the work too. I mean, you got to be willing to put in some work. Basically, marking up charts and putting down what you see. This morning, for example, is a really good example. Someone posted a chart, thought they had HD down. They didn't know they didn't get it until they posted a chart, and it's like, yeah, no, just that's not it. So the second chart didn't look a whole lot better. They tried again, and it didn't look a whole lot better. So boom, we get on camera and go through it. You don't know until you ask if you really do understand it. So, I mean, my hat's off to anyone who is putting their charts out and asking questions. And, you know, even if you're way off, you're going to, if you ask, we're gonna keep after it till you get it. We're not gonna let you not get it anymore. So, yeah, and all you have to do is ask a simple question. That's it. And show a chart so that we can understand. Communication's a funny thing. It's so easily crossed. So if you ask a question, we might, without a chart, we may or may not really interpret your question the way you're asking it. So if you ask a question with a chart, with a specific, pointed out on the chart, we're going to answer exactly what you're asking. It's much easier to do that because the one thing I've noticed is it's really easy to interpret something different than what it was meant. And to turn to turn alerts on or off, the alerts are mostly in the detectors. You have to just go into the indicator and turn the alert off. If you're hearing an alert for, I don't know, just say, as an example, third bar swing, you go into the detector, or if there isn't a detector, then you go into order prints. It's probably in order prints, and you just go look at what alerts are turned on and turn them off. Or use your no alerts template and then just go in and turn the detectors on you want to hear, or the parts. It's usually the bottom half of the order prints has a lot of things that you can. A lot of specific things to set up that you can turn on or off. So, yeah, I mean, traders helping traders is Apex motto, and yeah, we definitely want to help. Powerful. There are great trading days. Some days are great learning days.
Oh no, today was a killer learning day. I mean, I actually learned something today, which I'm like really happy about. So.
So it's noon. One quick little note. Everybody in the southeast quarter of the U.S., even going into the midsection and going north, be careful. Watch the sky. Take shelter.
There was just something happening.
Really crappy weather is getting ready to hit you guys. All the way from Texas north and then going east today and tomorrow. Ooh.
Really?
Rough. Yeah, they're saying lots of supercells will likely be spawned in that whole quadrant, almost the whole quadrant. It's really awful. Yeah, I should just be out of this one today. I had mine earlier in the week, but yeah. But we've got a lot of people in those areas. It's huge. They've been saying it for about a week now, but so yeah. Keep an eye out on the weather and take shelter when you need it. Yeah, that's part of the whole this whole thing, this whole crazy weather pattern that started. What did it start on? Even last Saturday, I think, way back on the west side, and it's of the country and moving over, and just awful.
Yeah, John, we had hail out here also. I'm in Southern California in the LA area, and the snow level was really, really low, and we had some crazy hail yesterday.
For, I believe, that even the Dallas region, and then it's kind of going northeast a little bit at an angle, and then just like sweeping across. So it's going up through even Kansas and Missouri, but I'm on the very outer edges, and I should be okay. But man, there's so many people that are in that. So watch the skies. Stay safe, and a great weather thing on YouTube is Ryan Hall, y'all. I mean, I have no reason to plug his channel, but just saying it is really a good weather thing for showing. He really keeps a really good eye on the weather and has storm spotters. Yeah, you like him? I watch him all the time when there's anything that could be coming up. He's really good about even local. I mean, he's got storm spotters all over, and if you're in danger, he's gonna alert you. So anyway.
So here's something about Lori before you take off. So for those of you who just didn't know this about Lori, first of all, she's a super person, number one. Second of all, she's an excellent teacher, great mentor. She does everything above and beyond, and I just realized now that she's a part-time meteorologist, which is unbelievable.
No, I'm not.
And well, yeah, I'm just hearing you calling like the weather right now. I mean, that's just amazing.
That's because I watched Ryan Hall.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, anyway, so.
See, you don't have to know everything. You just have to know where to find the information. That's the trick.
You just have to sleep at a Motel 6. That's what you need to do, because then you'll know everything. No?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that what the commercial's like?
I don't know.
I thought, yeah, it's like, yeah, whatever. Okay.
So it's not about knowing everything. It's about knowing where to find information. So there you go.
Exactly. Oh, Holiday Inn Express. That's what it was. Exactly. You sleep at a Holiday Inn Express at Motel 6. Sorry, that was, yeah. Exactly.
I love it, Jeff. Okay, well, that was interesting.
Yeah, that took a completely, like, side road to God only knows what.
Yeah, that was a rabbit hole.
Squirrel? No. Didn't see any today, by the way.
You missed them then, because there was a couple.
Oh, well. Just too busy chasing rabbits. Okay, I think I might do a power hour today. What's that?
It was just more of a teaching day, that's all.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm going to try to do power hour. I got a couple things I need to do today. Some personal things. So I'll try to make it to power hour. And if not, then I'll be back tomorrow morning.
Well, I'll be back tomorrow morning.
Okay. I'll post the video, and then I'll try to, well, not try, but I will find the section that we talked about, the HD, and I'll extract that and make its own video out of that. So I'll try to post 2 videos today. And if power...
You can, it might be helpful too, and just a suggestion,
Sure.
take it or leave it, whatever.
No, go ahead.
If when you post that section, if you can put the link to the training HD in the description.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
As well. And that way they can go look at more detailed information. 'Cause, I mean, I just did a quick down and dirty, here's how you see it kind of thing. But the training, I think, is more in-depth and more exact and all that kind of stuff. So that might be helpful.
Sure. Yeah, I'll find the link to that and then post it in there. Lorene, I posted on my YouTube channel.
Mark's got the YouTube channel for y'all mites there.
Y'all? Y'all?
Yeah, he is so funny. I mean, as a weather person, he's kind of fun to watch. But videos get posted. You can post them in here. You can post them in your mentor group. You can post them directly to Ron or I in Skype. Lorex does not require HD, no. Although if it has HD, that is a well-confirmed Lorex, and when you get the new settings, that'll actually show a blue flame. It'll show a blue ring around the flame, so to speak, so you know that it's well confirmed. Extra confirms. We love extra confirms.
And Grant, are you still in here? Or did he take off?
Yeah, he's here. 12/12/15 was his last post.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so on Grant's, it's like a really special thing. His monitor catches on fire. It's really cool.
Oh, wow.
That's just a continuation from yesterday's conversation. Sorry, it was just, you had to be in the in the power hour yesterday. It's too funny.
At this screenshot here real quick before I go. You have HD, but you have that ZOI. The HD was going long. Wait a minute. No, HD should have been going short if it was, wait a minute. Okay. It's ODD. Okay. Your ODD, it was ODD, but it was really high number. I don't particularly care for those myself, but you have, let's see, where is the take profit on that? If you look at where your take profit would have been, go from your setup bar and look approximately 10 ticks up. Then look to the left, you got crocodile eyes. You've got obstruction. That is a choppy area, and that mini magnet above is the top of the chop box because that's where the chop stops. So your setup actually had obstructions, and would you have profited before it hit that red eye block? Let's see. 1, 2, just barely, but that would be what that would be, hey, a big part of why that wouldn't work. You were just below a chop box that went out back up and bounced off the bottom of that chop box, and then it formed another chop box right below it. It's all advanced, I get it, and you were trying to go against the trend at that point. You're I don't know, for ODD, do you have to have I mean, for an ODD TX, do you need the DR to be with you or no? I forget those little details on the basic trades. Okay, so yeah, you had a long, just from what I could see on that picture, you had a long leg that went down with not too many pullbacks, but then it did give slings and pullbacks right there where you're going right back into that area. So yeah, that's kind of rough. valid TXF. It's not valid because you were against the DR. You have to have DR with you in a TXF. And you had that mini magnet above you before your take profit. So no, you had obstructions and you were not with DR. Yes, there are plans to add it to the semi-automatic automated trader.
Okay, Lori, I have to take off. Sorry.
Having said that, okay, I'm going to be right behind you, but having said that, it should be working now, but it doesn't. So that's, there are issues that they're being worked on. So when that'll come, I can't say. We have no idea. It should, theoretically, it should work with it now, but it doesn't. So got to figure. Well, it's kind of been in the works since it began, but it should have. It's a detector. They work off detectors, so. The Lorex, you have to purchase the Wealth Summit recordings.